In this lecture, we are going to start pouring in our content into the skeleton of our brand style guide that we just created. Okay, so we are going to add our copy, we are going to add our branded photos, and we are going to add our logos directly into this brand style guide. And then in the next one, we will style everything and fine-tune it to get very close to the final result. So this one is all about kind of importing our content into this document. Okay, so to do that, I will be fetching this information from another document that you don't see here on my screen, but I do have this other screen where I have the document, nothing fancy about it, it's just some information that I will be copying and pasting in this one document. All right, so let's get started. Very exciting to start this project. All right, so the first page is the cover of our brand style guide. You will notice that I renamed the document. I called it FTC Brand Style Guide 2022. So I highly suggest you always rename your document so you always work with the latest version. You know what you're doing, you stay organized. This is renamed. I feel much better. It is organized. I can start tweaking. So if I click on this group of elements, I will see it is actually a group of elements because I have 3 different text boxes here. So I will use the ungroup button to ungroup these boxes. And now I can move them individually, okay? So I will start by typing brand style guide, like so, brand style guide. We'll move this one up, and instead of beach town, bees house, this should say fair trade connection. And then version 1 here, I don't think it's necessary, so I'll just get rid of it for now. Next we have our logo here, the beehive. Okay, so I'll put this here, and we have this bit right here. It looks like a photo. It might be in a frame. So in order to know if it's in a frame, what I'll do is I will hit my delete key, and if it's in a frame, I should just delete the photo and still see the frame. So let's see what happens. No, so it was a photo, not in a frame. But let's use a frame actually here where I will be placing one of my branded photos. So for that, I will go to my Elements tab, scroll down until I see my grids. So I could use a frame, I could use a grid. I like to work with grids. So remember, grids will cover your entire screen, but you can resize them. Let's do that. Let's resize it to about here, and we will dump a photo, a branded photo right here in this grid. Okay, so I feel like this is already a good first step. I have this information, I can resize the text boxes slightly. I like to keep everything clean and organized in my documents and aligned. As you can see, the text boxes are of the same size. Now, it starts to become obvious that I really need some branded photos, my fair trade connection logos, and all of this material. It would really be handy to have it here, to have it in the editor. So in my uploads, for example. So there are a couple of ways to go about this. Since I'm using my Canva free account, I cannot really count on the folders functionality. Right? If I was using my CANVA Pro account, I could create folders. I could create a folder and dump all of my photos in one, and then another folder, all of my logos. But no, it doesn't work for CANVA Free. For CANVA Free, I only have the default folders plus 2 other folders that I can use for organizational purposes only. They won't show in the editor. That's a little bit of a shame, but I do understand why Canva is doing this, because they want users to upgrade to Pro. For me, this is a little bit of a handicap here, but I can work around it. So the way to work around that is just to go to your Uploads button and to upload everything here. Basically, using the upload media, I can upload all of my logos. So you see these are all my Fair Trade Connection logos. So I will select them all and click on Open, and they will start uploading right here in the Object panel. They will be kind of mixed up with everything else in there, which is again not ideal, but this is a way to do it. This is a way to do it with the free account. This is uploading. It's going to take a little bit of time to be all set here. The other thing that I will need here are some photos. So I will do the same, click on my upload, and this time instead of my logos, I need to go fetch my photos. So I have a selection here of visuals that I have pre-selected that I could use in this brand style guide. So similarly, I will upload these and you see they will start popping up here and Canva will upload them. You see that my logos are already uploaded. It might take a little bit more time with the photos because they are slightly heavier, but as a general rule, this goes pretty fast. It should depend also on your internet speed, but for me, this is what's going on here. It's loading. So yeah, let's see when they are ready. In the meantime, I can continue and move on to page number 2 here, which is my table of content. Okay, so again, text boxes grouped with some visuals. I will ungroup. I will pretty much ungroup everything, and I will probably get rid of this gradient here. So I will hit my delete key. I have table of content. My logo here should probably be the same as this logo right here, okay? So I will copy this and paste it, Control C, Control V. I have my little logo here that I will put in the corner. And that's why I'm uploading my logos. Maybe they are ready already. So I could, instead of doing this and then having to change it for Fairtrade Connections one, maybe they are already uploaded and I can use them. Let's see. Okay, so I would love to use which one, for example? I would love to use something like that. Yep, this looks great. So this is going to be, oops, not this one, Control Z. If you mess up, don't hesitate to go Control V. So if you, like me, are struggling to bring some elements and to move it, because you see, I'm trying to move this one with my logo, but something else is moving. It means something else is in front of your logo. So this text box right here is in front of my logo. So I will just use the position button and push it backwards. So now this one should be on top and I should be able to select it. Okay, so I have this, but it seems like there's a square around it and I don't want that. This is probably not the right version of the logo that I want to use here. I want to use something more without any mark around it, something like this one. So this could be nice, but I feel like I had another version of my logo which was more appropriate. It's not this one because this one is the long version, and it's not this one because it doesn't have the second color. So let me find the actual logo which is missing here. Okay, I found my logo is right here, and this is the one I was looking for. Okay, so I can make it small and replace this logo here. You see, I'm just going to use the safe zone here. You see this purple frame? Well, if I get close to it, Canva will tell me this is exactly where you should stick your logo because this is the end of the safe zone. So I will keep it here, delete this page number here, delete this logo for now. And this, like the name of the document plus the page numbers, this could be something useful, but I don't really like the way it, I prefer this one. Yes, so I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna Control C this one and Control V on this page. Okay, I will obviously tweak that. Let's call this FTC Brand Style Guide. Okay, and instead of V1, don't need the number of the version here. But I like to have my page numbers here. So this is page number 2. And maybe I use a different color here for the text that says number 2. So this looks good, but maybe I want to have a touch of color here. So I'm going to use my mouse here to select the number. So 02. This I would like to change this color for this this fuchsia color of my logo. So for that, I'm going to use the color picker. I clicked on the color button first of the text right here. Now I'm going to create a new color and use the color picker like so to go and fetch my color. Now I have this color and I can see its hex code right here, D81E67. So If I use this now, I can color my number here with this exact color. Okay, this looks good. Now I can delete this one right here. I have my table of content. I have this, might need a visual here. Let me also work with this a little bit more, move things around. I might need a visual here. So what I will do is I will place another frame or another grid right here for a potential photo. So let me go to my elements, find a frame. Which frame can I use? Again, one of the problems with frames is that they have so many frames with so many different types of borders. That's usually why I use grid. So let's go find a grid, and I will resize this grid to my taste, pretty much so, and add it right here. I will align it to my logo right here to the right, you see, touching the safe zone, and to my text right here. So it looks aligned. Okay, I will add a photo here. Moving on to the next page. So next page should tell the story of my company, how it all started, okay? A company's history. Let's change this for brief company's history, okay? I feel like at this stage, I should probably start thinking of the photos that will come into these different pages, okay? So here again, this is a photo, not a frame. I will Control Z this action because I want my frame to be of the exact same dimension here. So first I will bring, I always say frame, but it's actually a grid. So I will bring my grid like so, and I will make it the same dimension as this image because this layout was pretty good to start with. My grid is behind the image. I can just click on the image and delete it, and the frame is still here. Okay, this yellow color here, I feel like I could probably replace it for my branded color, which is right here. So I will do that, and Canva will propose to change all of these yellows for this fuchsia, which could be a good thing actually. So let's go ahead and do it. And you see all the other pages of the document that were using this yellow color now look on brand with my brand. You see even on this page, on the value page. So we are moving closer to the right color for my document, okay? We are on this page, a brief company's history. I'm just gonna go ahead and paste the text that needs to come here. I will do like so. I grab my text from my document, Control V, and there we go. Now we have all the information that is going to be needed on this page. All I have to do is to change this kind of, how do you call this? Like at the bottom of your page, the information at the bottom of your page, your footer. Yeah, I think we call it the footer. I will grab the one from the previous page and actually change it here and paste it. So if I Control V or Command V, it will be pasted at the exact same place. This is something I love about Canva. If you copy something from a page and you paste it on another page, it will be copied at the exact same place. So I just obviously need to change to page number 3. All right, moving on, continuing with the page number 4 here, food for thought. So for this one, I had the idea of kind of showcasing the work that we do and using a sentence that would be the essence of what we do. So that sentence is bringing you the artisan's story, bringing you the artisan's stories. So this is what we are doing with Fair Trade Connection. We travel around the world and we make photos and shoot videos, interview the people to bring their stories to the market, to people who buy their product. So bringing you the artisan stories. I should probably ungroup this because I don't need to have the author of the quote because this is just not a quote from someone, it is just what we do. And here I would just write what we do. Okay, maybe capital W because it's starting the sentence, what we do. Maybe we can have a capital letter or for every word, what we do. Okay, I will ungroup this and I will bring my logo again. So again, I will copy it from here, Command C, and come back to my page here, Command V. It will be pasted on the wrong side, but I can always bring it here. Okay, so Again, I will use the safe zone and align my text so that it looks good, bringing you the artisan story. Now, I will replace this photo for my traditional grid. Okay, so here is my grid. I grab it from the corner and I'm going to resize it to the size of this photo, because why reinvent the wheel when some talented designers have already went through this? Maybe what I can do is make it slightly bigger to kind of have like a square. And if I want a real square, I will need to look at the measurement here, 864. So if I do 864 by 864, I have an actual square, same size on each side. So right now, this is an actual real square. So let's keep it like so. I will have to include a photo right here. And if I move to the next page, this is an interesting one right here because this is supposed to represent my brand in a nutshell. So this will be my summary page, which will have all my branded colors, all my logos and logo variations, and also my fonts, my different font styles. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave this one for later because I feel like we haven't yet defined all of these styles and all of these colors. So we will do so in the next lecture when I start speaking about the styling. But for now, because we are just preparing every single page, I'm going to skip it. I will come back to this later. So the next one is this one, the mission and vision. So for this one, I feel like a few choices need to be made. I don't really like this big rectangle here. I feel like it's occupying a lot of space and I don't really need it. So I'm going to delete it. Here, the logo, I will delete this as well. And what I'll do, I'll just simply move this to this part and also move that a little bit to here. So what I'm going to start with is by replacing the vision and mission for my actual mission and vision. Let's go ahead and do this. First, the vision. So this is the vision or the long-term purpose, the reason of being of Fairtrade Connection. Our ideal is that every Fairtrade product on the market has a story attached to it via a QR code. Fairtrade consumers around the world understand how their purchases will improve livelihood. So this is the vision of the organization. Now for the mission, let's go ahead and replace it for my actual mission. So I'm copying it from my document and I will paste it here. The mission, we want to help the Fairtrade organizations like the producers, the retailers, and the federations show the impact of Fairtrade to the consumers. Okay, perfect. I have the mission and vision. This is great. I will bring up the page number. Okay, where did I leave it? I left it here. I'll copy this one. I feel like on this page, maybe I skipped the page number. We sometimes see this. Okay, I definitely need it here. So I will paste it here first, and then I need it here as well. Okay, let's adjust the number. So this will be page 3, 4, this should be 5. Okay, 5, and therefore this one should be 6. Okay, 6, perfect. All right, so because I talk about QR codes and scanning a product and everything, I'd love to illustrate that. And I do have some visuals that I will probably have to upload still. I uploaded all of my artisan photos and also a photo of us working with the artisans, but I still have to upload a few of the images here that are right here. So these two right here, and you will understand in a second what they are. So this is a representation of, let me click on this one, of the concept. You see, so you have the product, so these earrings made by this artisan. This is in Kenya. And then the idea is to have a QR code right here on the product that will link this product to the story of this man right here, this artisan. So this is kind of in a photo, the concept of Fairtrade Connection. So I could use this in a simple layout, something like this. I could do that, but I feel like there is a little bit better that could be done with this photo. So what I'll do, I will Command C the photo and Command V. So I duplicated it. I duplicated the photo. I now have twice the photos. Okay, so the first thing that I will do is that I will resize each of these photos so that it seems like it stands on itself. So I have this by itself, and then I will crop the other one, the product, so it's just the product. Okay, let's be careful about the shadows here. There are a couple of like light shadows. I don't want to lose them. And I see here for the first time that there is an actual background on my slides here. It's not white, there's a slight gray here. So I will make sure I'm deleting this background on all of these slides with the gray background. So just clicking on the background and hitting my delete key. So now they are white. And you see here, now they are white and they are blending in with the actual photos that I had. So let's just do that for all the document. Like so. Let's make sure you don't delete anything fancy or important in the document. Like so. Okay, this one as well. And that's about it. I think the pages that I fetched from the other document didn't have this background to them. Okay, so back to my page right here, page number 6 with my vision and mission. I can now have a little bit more control over these photos. So what I'll do, I'll try to find a little bit of a more interesting layout for them. So something like that maybe, so I don't see the frame, but I still see the photo. Let me try to find an interesting angle here. Maybe make this bigger. Yeah, this looks good. And then the product could be here. So I feel like this layout works better. Okay, maybe I push this down a bit. Yes, this looks pretty good. I love the layout of this page, the vision, the mission. Okay, I'm ready to go to the next page, our values. So again here, a few things to customize. First, the logo. I'm gonna get rid of this logo, go back to a page where I had this logo. So page 2 will do. I will Control C, come back to page 7, Control V. It will be pasted exactly where I want it. And again, if you don't trust me, have a look by moving it exactly in the corner here of the safe zone. Similarly, I will copy this footer and bring it here. First delete the one that is already there. This is going to be page 7. So 7 like so. And all I have to do is to paste our value. So I'll do that very quickly. I'll speed up the video so I don't bore you with this. Okay, I'm done copying and pasting everything. The one thing that I noticed is that the combination of my black fonts and my fuchsia background doesn't provide enough contrast. So I could go white with the font, or I could change the color of these blocks right here. Maybe I could use the other color of my logo, this green, like this neon green that I have here. So let's go ahead and do that by first selecting one of these fuchsia rectangle, okay, like so. Then I will click on the color button and then again use my plus button, my color picker, and find my green here, like so. All right, I have the hex code. This is the hex code, and I have this color. Now I see a much higher contrast. So what I will do, I will simply use my copy style button, you see, with my first green rectangle selected. I will click on the copy style, and then I will click on the second one. And then again, replicate this process, simply copying the style of my rectangle to each of these 4 rectangles. And now I have my value page ready to go. Moving on to the next one. Maybe what I will do here, I will speed up the video and set up a few of these pages because I don't want this lecture to be super long, but I think you got the idea. I'm just laying out every page and preparing it to receive the styling and the photos, okay? So what I will do, I will speed up the process unless I come across a page which is a little bit different, and then I will give you more commentary and explanation. But let's speed up the video for now. Okay, so I got to this page right here where I show the evolution of my logo with two different logo designs right here. And again, I have this big rectangle here, which I don't really like, but I kind of like the idea of adding a touch of color. So maybe what I could do is to reduce its width to 30, like so. I get rid of this logo and I will move everything a little bit closer on this side. And what I should do is to have my logo. So let's have a look at this. What is this? So we have this patch of like grids right here that I can use, but not their actual logo. So I will use this and I will have the two logos. So the first one should say 2010 to 2018. So this is where we actually did the logo redesign in 2018. And the other one should say 2018 until today. So let's do this, 2018 until today, and some explanations, but I should probably import the logos at this stage. So I'll have the recent one, this one. This is the recent logo. So let me position it here and I will make it fit this grid right here. Okay, so this is the recent one. And then we have the old one. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use this one with a white background to it because I want it to show and not see the grid behind it. And then we have the old logo. Where is my old logo? Right here. This is the old logo. I will also show that right here and make it fit this grid right here. So we'll reduce this slightly and then select both of these elements, my logo and the grid, and use the position button and then say middle and center. I want to align these elements middle and center. So what it will do, it actually changed the position of this old logo and like to be exactly in the middle of the other element, so my grid. Okay, so this is where I am now. This looks pretty good. I will do the same thing here, slightly reduce this one. And then as you can see, I can recenter here. Okay, so I have my two logos, which looks good. Maybe I can reduce both of them. They look a little bit too big. This is what I have. And my text boxes here could also be more aligned to them. So I will have the first one aligned to the top of my first grid and the second one aligned to the top of the other grid right here. Okay, so this looks good, but I would love to have another title, like a title on this page. And the title I would love to have is evolution of our logo. So I will bring that and paste it here, evolution of our logo. Okay, but now everything seems to be touching this title. So I'll just select everything and push it down a bit. It looks good on the page. This is good enough for now. I still need to style this a little bit more, but let's continue speeding up the video until I come across something else which is interesting and that I should probably comment on. Okay, here on this page, I have the logo variations. Okay, so different logo, different orientations. I would prefer to say orientations instead of variations. So I would prefer to say orientations instead of treatments. And then right here, I have a little bit of explanation. So this is the vertical, this is the horizontal, and this is the icon. Okay, this looks good, but I don't think I need further explanation. So I will ungroup each of these text boxes and only keep the name of each of them. And I can see the font that is being used here is not optimal, but I will take care of that in the next lecture. So let's continue adding our content. Okay, I came to this page right here, which is showing me the different usage, incorrect usage of the logo. So they actually in the template represented these different incorrect usage with their actual logo used in the template. But I want to do this with my real logo. So this logo right here. Okay, so what I will do is I will swap each and every one of these examples, keeping the essence of what they are trying to demonstrate, but I will be using my logo. So I will be, again, speeding up the video because it's really about using this version of my logo, okay, the FTC logo in black, and replacing these different case studies here. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so I'm here swapping the colors of my color palette on this specific page right here, page number 13. So I have my color palette and I have some explanation of the colors in this palette, but I will change this title that says approved color values for primary colors. Okay, so these are Fairtrade Connections primary colors. I will be using that as my kind of reference for my colors. And then you remember I left a blank page here because Fairtrade Connection actually has more colors. We have some secondary colors and some neutral colors. I'm going to go ahead and paste that information from another document that I have. I'm going to do that right now. So this is the information with all the hex code and everything. I added a separating line here in the middle. This is what I have. All I need to do is to add the headers, which will have to say, let me grab this one right here. I will ungroup this text box. Primary colors, so I will copy that and bring it over here. So these will be my secondary colors, and on the other side right here, these will be my neutral colors. Okay, so by selecting these two elements, I'm holding my Option key this time and dragging. Holding Option and dragging will have for effect to duplicate an element, and I will align right here with the first circle that you see here. Okay, so I just release my click, and these are the neutral colors. Okay, so that's why I left on purpose page right here. So let me see here if I have enough space to actually add my page number. Probably not, but on this page I do, on the second page right here. So I will go ahead and fetch this one. And I'm going to speed up the video. Okay, we came to a very crucial part where I actually have to decide on our typography. So for Fairtrade Connection, we are using the Railway family with Railway Heavy as our hero font. I want to represent that. So the hero font should be Railway. Okay, so first let's make sure this is properly aligned. Okay, so let's give it a little bit more space. So this should be our hero font, so the Railway Heavy font. Right now, this is not Railway, this is Clear Sans and this is Clear Sans. So this is the font that had been chosen in the template. So I want to make this Railway Heavy to be precise. So I will click on the first text box right here and go find Railway Heavy. It is here in my recently used fonts because obviously I rehearsed this lecture before delivering to you guys. I'm just gonna fetch it from here. But if you know your font, just search for it. You can use the search box. So here, Railway Heavy, and then you will find your font right here. Okay, and this part also should be Railway Heavy. And okay, so now we need to adjust a few things. I will ungroup these text boxes, okay, and make that one line. Okay, I need to change this. Obviously says Railway Heavy, like so, and I can reduce the size. This one right here looks good. We have all our numbers here. Maybe the Z should be on this line, and maybe we could have this slightly bigger. Okay, or we should have it about the same size of this text box right here that says Railway Heavy. But if we want to make it a little bit more legible, we can resize everything like so. This looks good. Railway Heavy, this is our hero font. Okay. Then what we can do here is to talk about the other fonts. So we use the Railway family with Railway Heavy as our hero font. We use Railway and Railway Thin to complement Railway Heavy. So I want to illustrate that. So what I will do, I will replicate these exact same thing, but with the other font. So just go ahead and paste it because I've done it already in another document. It's going to be looking like so. And yeah, now we have all the different fonts that we will be using for our brand style guide. So maybe this one is slightly too big. I want to have some sort of balance here on this document. So yeah, I think around this is the right size. So I have this one in railway and this one in railway thin. Okay, so all I have to do now is to swap this guy around for our footer. And this is going to be page 15. Whoops. Page 15. Okay, now we have our fonts. Let's continue and see what else do we have here. Now we have this page. I think we don't need it anymore, so I can delete it. And let me see. Okay, yes. There's another page that is linked to my typography that I believe is important to add at this point. So I'm going to use the plus button here and create another page here. So this page is going to be about my font hierarchy, okay? I want to be able to show in my brand style guide how I intend to represent my different fonts when I use them together with one another. So when I create article, I should have my headings, my subheadings, and my body text, but what are the rules that we are going to choose for this text hierarchy? I'm going to use the same text as before. We bring you the artisan story. So I'm going to paste that first. We bring you the artisan story. And then I'm just going to decompose what's there and add that information into my brand style guide. So I'm not going to bore you with this. Everyone will have their different way of doing so. So I'm just going to copy the information from my other document right here, but just know that this is the process that I have been through. So I have decomposed this. So we bring you is the heading. This is railway heavy. Then the artisan story is my subheading. I use railway thin in all caps. And then the body, presentations, etc., etc. This is just a randomized body. There's no real text there, but this is railway. Okay, so having this information about my font hierarchy is going to be super important for whoever is designing with my brand. Okay, I feel like this page could use a little bit of color, so I'm gonna be using the same technique as here. This, you see this band, this rectangle on the side. I'm gonna copy that, but instead I want it to be here at the bottom. So I'm gonna first copy it here, and then I will rotate this. You see how I rotated it by grabbing it. Let me show you again. Grabbing this button right here that says rotate, and then I will rotate this 90 degrees, and then using the other button to actually position it exactly where I want it. And now I can stretch it all the way so that it covers the entire page. Good. Now, one thing you should see here is that this page carries the actual typography that we will be using for fair trade connection. So basically, this entire document should respect this typography. We will be tweaking that in the next lecture where we style everything. This one is really about bringing the content inside the pages, but in the next one, we will be adding the photos and we will be styling everything. So let's continue and finish the actual tweaking of the layout of every page here. Let me see what's next. Next is our imagery. Okay, so let's get rid of the orange thingy straight from the get-go. And so yeah, imagery, proper use of photos. This text should say proper use of photos. Okay, so here I'm going to give some guidelines about how to use our photos, okay? So here we have some text boxes. This one is actually empty. So let's use this one first. And I'm gonna paste my text in this one, like so. Oops, there's something here I've seen. It's weird. There's some sort of something going on here. I'm gonna ungroup this as well. Ungroup, and yeah, delete this. Not sure what it is, but it was not useful. All right, let's keep it at that. Let's change this for our fuchsia right here. and this for our logo. I will actually use the white version of my logo here. So there it is, uploaded nicely. Whoops, you see this is a frame, so it will snap into it. If you don't want it to snap, use your command key and hold it. Okay, so I will do that. I will reduce its size a little bit more. Whoops, I moved everything here. Control Z. And then I will continue to center this like so, and I will use my command key. Okay, command key is held down, and then I release it. And now I have this logo nicely put in the middle here. These are frames, I believe, or grids. I will delete these photos because I will populate them with some of my photos. I don't need the page number, and I don't need this. I need to change it for my own page number. I actually had this page like footer on the left side on page number 9 right here. So I'm just going to copy this one and bring it to page 17, which is this one. Okay, looks good. Now, this will have like a couple of examples of my images. Next, I will have my tone of voice, but I feel like, again, like there should be probably some more information here about photos and how to use photos combined with text. So what I will do for now, I won't create this page yet, but I will add a blank page. So this is for me to know that something is still missing here before we can actually use the photo. So I want to show proper way of using the photos. Might be one page, might be 2 pages. We'll see that in the future. But then we get to the tone of voice. Okay, so tone of voice here, I want the second text box to say how we sound. Okay, and I don't want this gradient, so I will ungroup everything and then get rid of that. Okay, we'll probably use the same little underline that I use here. So let me copy this and bring that to this page right here. Again, we will style everything and fine tune in the next lecture, but for now I want to set it up. Okay, so here I have a couple of do's and don'ts in terms of tone of voice. So I'm just going to copy this information here, and then we will style that in the future. All right, do's and don'ts. So we use us and we never talked in terms of fair trade connection, etc., etc. You can read that. These are pretty much guidelines to how our brand should sound, how we talk about ourselves, how we write our copy. So this is important information, I believe, that should not be underestimated. And yeah, it is important to have it clear. What does your brand sound like? So I highly recommend you do this research and you figure it out for your brand. Okay, I can see here that I'm missing some page footers. Okay, so on this page, this is page number 16. And there will be one here as well. This will be page 18. This is page 19. All right, so we are in a pretty good shape here, guys. I feel like maybe one more page is going to be missing here, and it is going to be tone of voice as well. And here I would like to have my is not exercise, right? Where we actually explain what we are and what we are not. So this is what I came up with. So what we are and what we are not. So I will also add this information right here under tone of voice. So tone of voice, we are not. So this is what I have come up with. And obviously this page is very naked. So I will add a big visual here. For that, again, I'm going to be using a frame and the elements. I always say frame, but it's a grid under my elements. So I go here. What I could do is to make it come all the way up to here. Okay, this sounds about right. And we will have our page number on the other side this time for matching this layout. Okay, and this will be page number 20. And I believe this is the last page. Woo, we made it to the last page. All right, so let's have a quick overview of everything. And this is where we have come so far. So I'm really happy about this. This is really taking shape. I have all the important information. Remember page 5, we kept that for later. So we'll fix that in the next lecture. But I believe we have our solid base here. all we need to do now is to really add the photos, fine-tune this document, and fix the 2 missing pages here, and we should have our brand style guide. I'll see you in the next lecture to wrap this up.